taking my pills, Shoe. You can't make me. I like the voices in my head. You're one of them. I like them a lot. You can't make me take the pills, Shoe. I like my schizophrenia. You can't stop me. But anyways, now for real though, let's start the video because I jap a lot and this is a 26-minute video. Guys, if you haven't done it already, you follow me the channel and subscribe to me on YouTube. We stream every Monday. God, I can't talk. We stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m. EST, and you're missing out. But you better subscribe or it will hurt you. I will hurt you. This is a real threat, okay? I will pipe bomb your abode if I have to. It's a promise. What Trump really destroyed, the dark truth behind USAID. I'm kinda actually low-key excited to watch this one because I did hear that apparently, potentially, I guess we're about to learn if this is true or not, but some streamers, like Vosh, were potentially receiving some USAID funds. And I heard of some other things through the grapevines having like a nice video to look at that might explain all of this. To me might be good because I had a lot of questions but I kind of wanted to wait because in the fog of war there's a lot of misinformation and I didn't want to like talk shit without knowing what was going on exactly. You'll know that I was trying to like wait until more information came out. So let's get started.
Donald Trump along with Elon Musk have created a new government agency called Doge. And what I originally thought was just an older sibling giving a younger sibling an unplugged video game controller actually turned into a real thing. And their first order of business was dismantling USAID, an innocent government program that helped poor people all around the world. Or was it? Hello and welcome back to the Shoe0nHead channel. I am Shoe0nHead.
Welcome back to Hell World. Thank you, Shoe, for guiding us through this shit show. Oh my god.
And I am not real. I am a figment of your imagination. You have been in a coma since 2012. Wake up. Wake up.
I'm not taking my pills, Shoe. You can't make me. I like the voices in my head. You're one of them. I like them a lot. You can't make me take the pills, Shoe. I like my schizophrenia. You can't stop me.
Today we will be talking about the dark, seedy underbelly of USAID. This is a topic I've been interested in for a very long time now. And now that recently USAID has been in the news, I figured it is a perfect time to finally talk about it. All the mainstream liberal coverage I've seen of this has basically been late-night talk show hosts crying fake tears about it being dismantled, and all the mainstream Republican coverage has just been about all the woke shit USAID was apparently funding. But I promise you, it is more than that. A lot more. If you're not a very—
Thank God. Thank God. I still find it so funny that 2025, the year of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and I'm relying on a goddamn YouTuber to get proper, accurate information on what's going on. God, it's so disheartening. You'd think we'd be in a better position by now, you know? You'd think we would. But no, it's just, God.
Very political person and you only come here to consume the Reddit gender war slop, you should still stick around for this because this gets juicy. And remember, even if you're not interested in politics, politics is interested in you. And trust me, I understand why some people aren't interested in politics. It's confusing, it's stressful, it's a lot to keep up with. I feel like 500 things happen every single day. But thankfully—
Also, there's the fact that depending on where you live and depending on your specific type of politics, some people are going to quite literally paint you into public enemy number one. Just to give you an idea, I have a friend which, you know, God bless her heart, I get along with her very well, but she is somebody who hates Republicans and anybody who's not a leftist so much that it gets to the point where she is unable to hang out with my other friends anymore because she just can't let go of the fact that some people might not be in agreement with her. And anybody that she doesn't like is, you know, Nazi, racist, misogynist, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, God, if you know, like, what can you tell somebody who is that, like, I guess, audience captured by her own political side? You can't say anything. You can't. It's over. Then she isn't your friend then? I mean, she is our friend. It's just, I'm friends with her. It's just, it's her problem if she can't make friends with everybody else. You get what I mean? She's still my friend because I don't give a fuck. I have conservative friends and I have lefty socialist friends and communist friends and, you know, like I have friends in every single part of the spectrum. I don't care. And I'm not gonna antagonize someone just because, like, yes, like, she was right when she says that politics cares about you, even if you don't care about politics. But it's still in your hands how much you allow politics to affect you. Like, her is too far gone, and that doesn't have anything to do with the politics being that bad. That's like her issue now. You get what I mean? I had a friend of 12 years tell me she couldn't be friends with me because I lean right. Yeah, I mean, I'm low-key expecting for that to happen with her at some point, but like, we'll see what happens, and if it happens, then you know what? What can I do? I'm not gonna get mad or anything because honestly, it doesn't affect me. And I've had people already in the past stop talking to me because they paint me as one thing or another, and you know what? I don't care. I live my life. I am in my lane. Moisturized, unbothered, flourishing.
I have a tool to help with that. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this video is sponsored by USAID. Just kidding. This video is sponsored by Ground News. Let's quickly give them a shout out and then we will jump back into this deep dive, shall we?
Oh, red.
Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a fun and transparent way to read the news all across the political spectrum. From left, right, and center.
In fact,
every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias that helps you understand the full story and makes sure you're getting both sides.
Some type
One
of
of my favorite features of Ground News has to be
he actually knew about it, but he was.
It shows you news stories that have been covered
by only
kind
of
one
funny,
side of the political spectrum,
I could
and
see. I mean, in the case of Shoe0nHead,
for example, here is a story about how Elon Musk apparently pressured the Reddit CEO to moderate content on the site.
Patreon,
right away, we can see that the story has been covered by 12 sources. And out of these 12 sources, 75%
it's
lean
still
left,
kind of funny.
and no right-wing sources have covered active action to make DC beautiful, while this is the same story as Trump wants Washington, DC, Berlin, 1939.
It kind of shocked me how
good I've been using Ground News for 4 years now because it's great. I love it, and it really helps me see how both sides frame things so differently. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is what I use to access all of their amazing features. This comes out to only $5 a month. That's like the price of a coffee. And it is so worth it. It is one of the first apps I check in the morning. It's great. So go to ground.
Also, guys, if you like Shoe and you want to support her, go ahead and use the QR code for Ground News. If you are thinking of getting Ground News, go ahead, scan the QR code or use the code inside Shoe, the Hopper app, or preferably go ahead and donate to her on Patreon, okay? That's the best way to support her, so go ahead and do so.
Or use the QR code on screen right here,
or
use the link in the video description down below. Again, that is ground.news/shoe, or click the link down below. I think what they're doing is...
Wait, I have COVID on my head. Ko-Fi. Ko-Fi would be the best way to support me. If not, memberships, donos also work like super chats. Instructions unclear, now supporting you with COVID? How romantic.
Important because it helps people approach the news in a more fair and balanced way, and I feel like we need that now more than ever. So thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad. Right? Now let's get back to this USAID deep dive, shall we? So Donald Trump and Elon Musk created the Department of Government Efficiency, aka Doge. Get it? Like the Reddit meme from 2012?
No, boy.
Epic bacon, my fellow memers. Honestly, who am I to talk about dead memes? My username is Shoe0nHead. So Doge's supposed goal seems to be cutting useless spending the government.
So we have Shoe0nHead, but where's Sharpie and Pooper? That's the real question. When is somebody gonna make a YouTube account and call themselves Sharpie and Pooper? That's the real question. That's the only one we are missing. I'm sure it exists, but I don't think it never took off like Shoe0nHead did, okay? So...
I'm on it. Let's pay taxes on. Now, I have very mixed feelings about taxes. From each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Taxation is theft! The tree of liberty will be refreshed with the blood of tyrants! My opinion has always been, if we are going to pay taxes in this country, could they at least go to things that actually help people, like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, child tax credits, firefighters, fixing our bridges and roads, castrating pedophiles, government-funded girlfriends.
I would not be against chemically castrating pedophiles, or government-sanctioned girlfriends. I'm just saying.
Things like that. And yes, we should be auditing the government. I think that's a good thing. Frankly, I don't care who does it as long as they do it well. Good things are
I agree.
good, bad things are bad. I'm anti-bad things, pro-good things. Those are my politics. And hating libertarians. Just kidding, I love libertarians. I get along great with them. As long as we don't talk about child labor. Anyway, Doge got straight to work, firing government workers and basically hiring my Twitter mutuals. What was once a theater kid-occupied government is now a right-wing schizo poster-occupied government. No, I am not joking.
So this is a 19-year-old high school graduate who has used the unfortunate nickname Big Balls online, so that would be one way that we could refer to him. He is now working at Musk's behest inside Doge.
If you had told me 10 years ago that
Oh my god, he appeared in chat. Oh my god, he appeared in chat. That was so fucking quick. Sharpie and Pooper. Oh my god. What a Chad. Also, somebody in chat said Shoe reminds me of Boxy. You are an old head. Because I can't see the actual word on Twitch. But you know what word I would be replacing with head right now. If you weren't 4chan. You are a real old head if you remember Boxy. God damn. Holy. That was me. I said Boxy. Yes, dude. Joan's shoe looks a lot like... But yeah, actually, by the way, now that you guys mentioned it, at first when Shoe0nHead started making videos, I thought that was Boxy's channel. But it wasn't. So you guys are not wrong.
Donald Trump and Elon Musk would hire some Zoomer named Big Balls to help audit the government.
Shoe's cuter than Boxy, though. I'll just say that. I'm sorry. Listen, if you like Boxy, fine. But I think Shooter's a bit cuter than Boxy.
And I'd believe it. Like, yeah, that checks out. They have no relevant experience. Most of them aren't old enough to rent a car. They're not even old enough to rent a car. They're in their 20s. We send 18-year-olds to go die in the wars you cheerlead on, you evil hag. Why are they so focused on the ages of these people when our government is basically a retirement home? But honestly, I don't blame Hillary Clinton. If I were her, I also wouldn't want 22-year-olds in the government.
Well, I mean, there's also the fact, jokes aside about Monica Lewinsky, there's also the fact that Hillary Clinton has no actual argument. So now we have to resort to, you know, baseless arguments that, I mean, is it an appeal to age? Or ageism or some type of like, I don't even know what to even call that. Usually when a politician starts to resort to arguments like these, they have no argument. They can't do anything. So they're grasping at straws to try to make a point where there is none to make.
Months before dismantling the Department of Education, or apparently Sesame Street, Doge's first order of business was dismantling US.
Without providing any proof, Elon said USAID is a criminal organization. Oh yeah, they're an international crime syndicate hell-bent on helping people.
Pretty f***ed up, huh? Taking money away from an aid program that helps poor people all around the world. Except USAID was not exactly that. In fact, it doesn't even f***ing stand for aid. It stands for United States Agency for International Development.
Oh.
It has f*** all to do with aid. But honestly, I don't blame you for thinking it does. After all, they do make the word aid a different color in the logo. Those sneaky bastards. Although it said USAID provides 42% of global aid, the truth is most of those funds are just spent paying US contractors and secretly conducting regime change all around the world. In fact, 80%.
And by the way, this is why I am not so... I'm not saying I'm happy about the fact that, say, a country like Russia is trying to meddle with our elections, or China or whatever. But the reason why I never felt too strong about it was literally because we do the same thing to countries all over the world every single year. And we get away with it. We quite literally get away with it. Almost all the time. With zero pushback from anybody. We'll bomb a country out of the, out of the face of this earth and install a new one. But then get all mad when other countries start to do the same to us. So there's that. Jesus Christ.
Of all USAID funding goes to just 75 organizations, while only 6% of that goes to aid. And by auditing USAID, Doge exposed the true, real puppet masters behind the secret cabal of evil masterminds funding the woke ideology spreading all around the globe. You. Yes, it was you, American taxpayer. Turns out the deep state was the friends we made along the way. And yes, it's true, we are spending billions of dollars in our tax money to fund things like teaching Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gendered language.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Why? Why? Bro, we have dilapidated schools. We have cities that look like third world countries. Just look at San Francisco. We are locking under key meats in the grocery stores now because of how much we have regressed as a society. We have people replacing their brains essentially with ChatGPT and Grok because they're so fucking retarded that they can't think for themselves anymore. And you're telling me we're sending millions upon millions of dollars to Sri Lankan to teach people how to avoid saying he or she? Oh my god, I'm gonna kill myself. Holy shit, okay.
Combating disinformation in Kazakhstan, promoting inclusion in Vietnam, millions to an Armenian LGBT group, millions to rebuild the Cuban media ecosystem, millions for LGBT causes in the Western Balkans, millions for LGBT activism in Uganda, millions for atheism in Nepal.
We are funding atheism? State-funded atheism? So we, on one hand, separation of church and state, but on the other hand, right? Okay, sure. Millions for male circumcision around the world. Okay, that one. I'm a little bit. Let's put an asterisk on that one for one reason alone. Male circumcision can be something like a medical procedure that is necessary depending on specific medical situations and whatever. So I'm not against the idea, but they better have a really good, and I mean really good. Yeah, they need to have a really good reason to do this. Not with my tax dollars. There's another entire problem with the argument about not with our tax dollars, because the problem is the tax dollars that we spend in the US, there has to be some amount that we spend to keep people happy around the world. Okay? Like, listen, it's easy to say, no, I don't want people using my tax money for this and that and whatever, all these things that I don't agree with. Yeah, but like, some people, as a country, sometimes to have the power that the US has, you kind of have to give a little bit. But like, most of these are not reasons to give a country, like, any type of financial support. Like, this is retarded. Even this one where I'm putting like a small asterisk and I'm trying to be charitable here, this is still like a no-go. Also, $10 million for sex changes in Guatemala. Why are we sending $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala? How does this help us create a better relationship with Guatemala? They funded sex changes for mice. No need to be charitable with the government. I promise they. No, I mean, it's not that I'm trying to be charitable to the government. I have a huge distrust for the government. That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is that I want to make sure that whatever argument I put forward is not an argument done in bad faith. Because I don't want for people to then say that I am arguing from a point of bias or bad faith. I'm not. Like, I'm trying to like give this a fair shot. I'm trying to be as open as possible and critique where I think the critique is earned. And honestly, for all of this, it's earned. Even this one where I'm putting like the small asterisk. Because the only fucking way I can see male circumcision being something that we fund around the world is if it's like a health situation where sometimes some guys, they get infections or other medical issues down there, and sometimes they do need to get the circumcision procedure done. Because that's Shoe0nHead who's putting them. I'm assuming that Shoe is not lying to us.
Millions for male circumcision around the world, and $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala.
But okay, just so we're clear, if they're giving $2 million for, I want you to be completely clear on this. If it's just to circumcise babies, go fuck yourself, and I think your house should be pipe bombed. Holy shit.
And many other things that were so ridiculous, I had to double check to make sure I wasn't being trolled.
Yeah, because apparently male circumcision isn't ridiculous. This is already ridiculous.
Taxpayer-funded sex changes in Guatemala? We don't even do that here. Now, you might be saying, Shoe, this seems like some stupid anti-woke shit. And yeah, kind of. You got me. But I ask you, young naive liberal, why the f*** was John Bolton once the head of USAID? John Bolton, for those of you who are unaware, is an infamous neocon hack. He's literally criticized Trump for not being enough of a warmonger. Neocon hacks, for those same few of you who are unaware,
Yeah, like Bush and what's the other guy's name? Dick Cheney, I think it was. Those people were they just wanted war, and they wanted to give their friends lucrative deals to fund those wars.
are the people in our government responsible for meddling with other countries all around the world and getting us into wars for basically funsies. The people who suck the teat of Raytheon, Boeing, etc. The military-industrial complex's favorite Discord kittens. These guys,
Which is why, by the way, I liked Tulsi Gabbard so much. She was one of the few Democrats back in the day that was actually talking about this issue. And people got so fed up with her, she ended up now working under Trump, man. The main reason why I enjoyed Tulsi Gabbard so much was specifically because of how much she would call the military-industrial complex and how much money we throw at wars. And you know what happened to her? She got excommunicated from the Democratic Party. It's fucking insane.
come in shades of red and blue. So why was John Bolton, a red guy, in charge of the same program, USAID, that is sending American taxpayer money to foreign countries to have things like trans pride parades? The truth is, the USAID thing goes a lot deeper than what a lot of Republican commentators are saying. It wasn't just a bunch of libtards in government wasting our money on stupid woke things. No. There's way more than that. You see, it's current year and we can't just do old-fashioned imperialism anymore. The people don't like that. It's a new era, so we have to dress it up in glitter and rainbows. To put it bluntly, USAID is nothing but another form of taxpayer-funded regime change, wearing an innocent mask of aid. Shut up, Shoe! You dumb bimbo populist! You reactionary shitlord!
It kind of reminds me of how we call the Patriot Act, and then like everybody turned a blind eye just because it was called the Patriot Act, the Patriot Act. Look what happened. Look what happened with that. And look how much the government has overstepped due to the powers that they've been given thanks to the Patriot Act. I rest my case.
You cry, tears running down your fat, retarded face. The United States is just giving foreign countries billions of dollars out of the kindness of their hearts. Oh yeah? I have a lovely bridge on sale down the road. Would you like to buy it?
Yup.
Listen, despite all-
And I was about to say, they got into the same before she said it. If you believe that, boy, I'll have your wallet by the end of the week. Okay? If you actually truly believe that, I'll have your wallet by the end of the week.
fault, I love America, and I love the American people. But if you believe the corrupt, greedy bureaucrats running the deep state of this country do anything out of the kindness of their hearts, you are a sweet, innocent angel, and you need to be protected at all costs. I especially side-eye any leftist who has the nerve to run defense for USAID, especially those who call themselves socialists or commies, considering the fact that USAID was basically originally created to destroy communist countries all around the world.
So, you know, quite literally, state-sponsored psyops. I mean, not sure if you could consider this psychological warfare, but like it's very close. Listen, if you ask me, this is very close to state-sponsored psyops.
USAID was quickly nicknamed the CIA's little sister. Oh, and here is John Bolton holding a trophy given to him by USAID.
Wait, what does it say there? Truest? Reginald? Aid.
Shape of a hand grenade. Yeah, nothing to see here, folks. So let's talk about Shoe0nHead, shall we? Sit down. I love this story.
What?
Taken directly from Wikipedia, Shoe0nHead was an online social network.
I'm actually sorry for this one. I'm ESLing a little bit. Reaganaut. That's what that means? Okay. Wow. Okay, wow, that's kind of dark. Why would they call him that? Eisenhower warns about the military complex. Yes, I do know that, but that's, I mean, don't pronounce Reagan. Yeah, I know Reagan is called, Ronald Reagan's called Reagan, but Reaganaut. But that's kind of dark when you think about it. Jesus Christ.
Working and microblogging service created by the United States Agency for International Development, aka USAID, and marketed to Cuban users. It was covertly developed as a long-term strategy to encourage Cuban youths to revolt against the nation's government. The developers aimed to use non-controversial content, such as sports and music, to build up subscribers and then to slowly introduce political messages through social bots to encourage dissent in an astroturfing initiative. So basically, USAID created a fake-ass social media platform in
So at this point, as a country, we've gone past joking about psyops. We are now doing, like, actively. We're performing psyops via music, culture, and other types of mediums. If I caught that correctly.
was covertly developed as a long-term strategy to encourage Cuban youths to revolt against the nation's government. The developers aim to use non-controversial content, such as sports and music, to build up subscribers and then to slowly introduce political messages through social bots to encourage dissent in an astroturfing initiative.
Okay, remember when people say that, this is something that I've heard about, especially recently. Now that Trump won and that we have people on the right back in office, there's been like kind of a push of people trying to say that, oh hey, if your guy is in office, it must mean that you are somehow like these things were not happening, right? That somehow these things were all made up and that the conservatives were just and at some point as well the Democrats will also complain about this, but like at different points in time throughout history. And I remember this because, like, growing up, like, I remember when conservatives were in power, and I remember, like, the Democrats more recently, ever since Obama went into power, and then, like, now with the pull back with Trump, right? I remember a lot of people saying that supposedly we, as a, like, at least in culture and media, that supposedly now it's worse than ever. Or rather, there's people arguing that it wasn't as bad before. When people would talk about stuff like, you know, politics or shoehorn irrelevant political messages into media. But if we're doing this, if we've been doing this for 60 years now, all willy-nilly, what makes you think that they're not doing the exact same thing here? And I don't know about you guys, but the Democrats and in general, and the lefties in general, have been the ones in power and in control of the media and culture for the better part of like 20 to 25 years. Longer than 60. Okay, so yeah, then longer than 60, sure. But you get my point, right? Like I always had a feeling, but I always tried to like not talk about it too much, because that's like one of those things that I feel like if I start talking about that, people will look at me like a conspiracy theorist. But now I'm like, fuck you, bitch, pay me, because I was right, motherfucker. I was actually right, if this is the case. Because 100%, if we are doing it, that we have been doing this, with taxpayer funded, with taxpayer funds for over 60 years, you can bet 100% that the US government is also doing it here locally as well. 100%. Because nobody's gonna hold them accountable.
The USAID created a fake-ass social media platform in Cuba with our tax dollars, flooded it with bot content about like sports and music and whatever, just to make it seem normal, then slowly started to manipulate the users and create political division on the app between Cuban citizens in order to create political chaos in this country and a potential uprising. So yeah, how dare we take money away from those starving undercover agents. To make things even more
also, those remind me as well of the fact that there are many, and I mean this, many sources of journalists being on the payroll to affect the politics of specific parts of the world. And in the Cuban Missile Crisis, there's a term specifically with their journalism. With the journalists, there were a lot of journalists that lied during that entire process that I believe were under the US payroll. I don't remember it now. Probably post-editing me is gonna add here like the information that I meant.
Sus. The money we spent on Shoe0nHead was publicly documented as an unnamed project in Pakistan. Yes, this fake-ass social media psyop they created in Cuba was documented by our government as being a project in Pakistan. Now, think of all the other weird shit USAID was supposedly funding.
Also, don't UAF, I didn't mean to ignore yours. Hey Scar, your voice fixes headaches better than aspirin, thanks. Thank you.
Those sex changes in Guatemala. Were they really sex changes in Guatemala? Or were they some covert psyop being done somewhere else in the world? I guess we'll never know now. Using social media to divide the masses and create political division. You don't think... No. They wouldn't do that. I mean, it's kind of weird they asked the former founder of Twitter to help with this project, but no. They would only do social media psyops in other countries, right?
No.
Right? In March 2024, a document was exposed that revealed USAID was running covert psyops all around the internet in order to combat populist misinformation about the government on Twitch, Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, and 4chan.
So Vosh was 100%, 1000% receiving aid, 1,000,000% receiving aid from this. And that's why when they announced the USAID stuff, he started to complain and bitch about not making enough money or some bullshit. So at this point, I'm like, well, he was getting money. I think Hassan is probably one of the biggest ones. I would not be surprised at all if Hassan is getting any of this. We have a couple of others that I'm thinking, but like probably, I wouldn't be surprised if Vosh and Hassan, at the very least. Also Twitter, we kind of knew that one, honestly. Reddit, I'm not surprised. Facebook, I'm not surprised. And 4chan, Scar, were you getting money from them? Bitch, I wish I was. I could work at YouTube full time if I was. I wish. But also. 4chan is one that doesn't surprise me at all. But also, 4chan is one of those places where they could really truly smell these motherfuckers. 4chan has been calling out people who they think that, like, 4chan consistently since at least 2012 has been calling people out for being glowies or fed posting. It's been way over 10 years at the very least. And people in 4chan have 100%, like, I'm telling you, I used to press the website and I remember this. They still call it out. So people in 4chan know that fed posting is a thing. And they would call it out at least. Now the other places, I'm not surprised. At all.
Although its internal justification was halting the flow of mis- and disinformation, it seemed particularly concerned with malinformation, a concept it defines as speech that is factually correct but misleading.
Also, for the record, for the person who said in chat that maybe taking out the USAID is why 4chan is now down, technically no. What happened with 4chan was entirely different. But you could maybe argue that the people who did the takedown were maybe behind some type of payroll from the government, but like even that's kind of a stretch. The reality is that what happened in 4chan and what happened in the whole hack that still has a site down to this day has a lot more to do with like just a group of nerds over here getting mad at a group of nerds over there about what, you know, should be allowed on the website and what shouldn't be. And it's more of an ego thing more than anything. So, you know.
USAID suggests directing the public toward mainstream corporate sources of information and psychologically inoculating them against inconvenient facts that challenge US power by pre-bunking information before people see it. Pre-bunking includes discrediting the brand, the credibility, and reputation of those making false allegations.
What's the problem right now? I can't talk to a bunch of my family members about any of these topics, whether it's in any political topic or any social political situation that happens. I quite literally can't talk to like a whole lot of my family members about it because the moment that they hear that, oh, Fox News sent something right one time, they will dismiss it, even if Fox News is actually right that one time. Just because it's Fox News. And same way the other way, right? Like people will, in fact, like discard a news from, say, CNN or NBC or whatever for those same reasons. So honestly, they won. They worked. It worked. Like whatever they were doing here, it worked. And it worked way too well. So much so, we now can't even talk to each other if you hold like a different political belief. It's really disheartening.
In other words, a state-directed attack against alternative media and critics of the US government. So basically, USAID was funding a bunch of dorks to go all around social media and be like, source? every time someone criticizes the government. This is somehow more
The source, it came to me in a dream. I made it the fuck up.
pathetic than when I used to use an alt account to defend myself on BreadTube subreddits. That is basically what our government was doing.
Yeah.
Also, I like how this implies the people you called a Fed online might have actually been a Fed.
They're still maybe here. Oh, I'm not saying Shoe is like, you know, doubting this. I'm saying that was it Terry Davis? Terry Davis, sorry. Terry Davis was right the entire time about this. He just was, okay? If you don't know who I think it's Terry Davis. Terry Davis was right the entire time, okay? And what do you do when they go in the dark? You just run them over.
There is a chance that you may have fought with a federal agent, a USAID federal agent on Twitter or 4chan. This also implies that like streamers and social media influencers may have been funded by USAID. But who? Who among us? Who would be willing to unquestionably, enthusiastically suck establishment cock that hard?
Destiny, probably Mike from PA, there's a couple of others. I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Cedar. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Kalinske as well. Honestly, yeah, anyone from BreadTube called it.
On the world, USAID was just an organization that did a lot of nice things. Like it put a lot of money into efforts to help people in a variety of ways,
Wow.
like both materially and culturally. It's just like a nice way for the United States to have a positive presence around the world.
For the record, I do not actually believe Destiny is being funded by USAID. I just thought that transition was funny. I fucking love that quote though. USAID was just a nice organization.
Okay, true. I'm gonna push against you a little bit here. Because I don't give a fuck if Destiny hates me. I'm a nobody to him, so he'll probably just block me and get on with his day. I don't give a fuck. But Destiny was canvassing for politicians. He has a direct connection, or he had before the whole drama stuff with him happened. He had a direct connection to Democrat politicians, I believe. So I would not be surprised if he actually did have a connection. I just wouldn't be surprised.
Organization that did a lot of nice things like culturally help people around the world. Culturally help people? Why are we in the business of cultural imperialism? Why do we have to culturally enrich Latin America or the fucking Balkans? So not only are we the world police, but we are now the world HR department? No thank you. Why are we spending billions of dollars doing fuck-ass shit in other countries while ours crumbles?
And a lot of stuff that those other countries don't want anyways. Like, people from Latin America, they don't give a fuck about LGBT bullshit. There's like a minority that does, but most of them don't give a fuck about that, or they don't give a fuck about stuff like neo-pronouns and all that bullshit. They don't. So trust me, we were just like turning money on fire.
I don't care about teaching gender studies to Ugandans. The pothole in front of my house hasn't been filled in 3 years. These are my taxes, and I believe my taxes should go to help people in my country. I don't think that's controversial to say.
No.
And I know many conservatives agree with me. I'll always hear them say, we can't be spending money in Ukraine. We have to take care of our own. And then they just don't take care of their own. Because that's socialism or communism or something. Listen, do you actually want to take care of your own? Do you actually want your taxes to go towards helping the poor and sick and families in this country? Are you actually America first, or are you corpos and foreign countries first? I'm more than happy to work with you on good things to
Corpos.
fix this country. But I don't think the establishment GOP is.
You don't want able-bodied workers on a program that is intended, for example, for single mothers with 2 small children who's just trying to make it. That's what Medicaid is for, not for 29-year-old males sitting on their couches playing video games. We're going to find those guys and we're going to send them back to work.
First of all, Medicaid is for anyone who needs it, period. And second of all, 29-year-old guys? You mean your fucking voter base? You mean the very demographic that is shifting the entire country in your direction?
Yep,
Those guys?
yep.
Yeah, we're just wasting so much money helping young men. Those greedy gamers just gobbling up all the tax money, not
By the way, the young men who are disenfranchised and have been literally left out to dry for the better part of it, the very least 10 years. It's kind of funny because, yeah, like, it's quite literally gamers are the most oppressed, but, like, actually, though, low-key, though, in a lot of places in the US, those are, like, the most disenfranchised voters, because their studies, because they're not as educated anymore as they used to be. They don't hold jobs the same way they used to. The money doesn't, the money is not there the way that it used to. There's a lot of guys that he's like criticizing right there that have been put in that position due to no fault of their own. That being said, I still think that despite the hand that they're dealt, you should still try to make the best out of any given situation. But it would be more than dismissive of me to not quite literally point out the obvious. And it's the fact that there's been a lot of guys, and I mean a lot of guys, that through no fault of their own have been left out to dry. For no good reason, by the way. Again, I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised that Meg Johnson would say this. But it kind of goes back to what I was saying, to what I've said in earlier streams, to where like the politicians at the end of the day, they only care about what's their bottom line. And they don't really care about the voters. So whenever you're voting, you should always try to like vote with your best interest in mind, even if it means voting for a politician that you might not agree with 100%. If it means that that politician is going to, at the very least, help a lot more with your community and your city and your state.
And second of all, 29-year-old guys? You mean your fucking voter base? You mean the very demographic that is shifting the entire country in your direction?
Quite
Those
literally,
guys?
yeah.
Yeah, we're just wasting so much money helping young men. Those greedy gamers just gob-
Again, I just can't emphasize this enough. The reason why Trump won was thanks to that voter base that felt disenfranchised. That's why he won. That's it. More, because Trump won he won a lot of points with a lot of different like voter bases, but the biggest one was men.
Doubling up all the tax money, not massive tax cuts to corporations and the rich, not all the money to the bloated military-industrial complex, no. Gamers. Young men who can't find a job, can't afford a house, can't afford college. Young men who can't build a family because of the society you created. Those guys, they need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and pay for their own Medicare. This care isn't for them, it's for women. What?
Hey, if you see any more dead, healthcare company CEOs in the following months, don't be surprised.
Great to know both sides of the establishment fucking hate young men. Anyway, sorry, I popped off. Let's get back on topic. Now, USAID did do some good things, I won't deny that. But even some of the good things USAID did were nothing but a bunch of fronts. Using Cuba as an example again, because these are some of the only ones that have been exposed so far, there was a USAID program called the Travelers Project that was said to be an HIV prevention workshop. But yet,
You must be joking.
yet again, it was nothing but another covert regime change psyop. This was exposed in 2014 by the Associated Press. Young Venezuelans and Peruvians were deployed by USAID to Cuba's college campuses for $5.41 an hour.
Okay.
Really, USAID? Billions of dollars force feminizing mice and you can't even pay your spies a living wage? Sad. Anyway, they were used to recruit college students into political organizations with the goal of turning them against their government. The goal of, once again, creating political division.
Yeah.
In the exposed memos about this, USAID called their HIV workshop the, quote, perfect excuse. Right. But we're totally funding DEI in Vietnam for pure humanitarian reasons, I'm sure. This was done so sloppily that even our boy John Bolton came out and disavowed it, but not without saying he thought it was a good idea in principle. Yes, it's a great idea.
Again. It's only election meddling when Russia does it. The moment we do it, we're just aiding other countries. It's just
to create
it beggars belief. This is the problem that I have with this video.
Taxpayer-funded secret psyops all over the world in order to f*** with other countries' politics. Just don't recruit teenagers to do it next time, okay? What? I honestly just think it's kind of
Stop
funny we were
noticing
funding
things.
anti-socialist agendas all around the world and disguising it as social progressivism. Don't think too hard about that one. Now, Cuba wasn't the only place USAID was culturally helping. On January 12, 2010, a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck Haiti, killing 220,000 people, injuring another 300,000,
Why is killing censored?
and leaving 1.5 million more homeless. In the wake of the catastrophe, the United States provided $1.6 billion in reconstruction funding to Haiti, 651 million of which went to USAID. Rather than employing Haitian construction companies, USAID contracted out the rebuilding projects to international firms. For instance, Minnesota-based construction firm Thor was awarded $18 million in contracts, and Mexico-based firm Cemex received over $7 million. But by far the largest recipient of USAID funding in Haiti was Washington, D.C. based contractor Chemonics International, who received over $200 million to carry out a total of 141 projects. In fact, USAID awarded more money to Chemonics than to the entire Haitian government in the wake of the earthquake. An audit
Specific war efforts? I'm just asking the question at this point. I'm just asking the question. Nope. Yes, 2001, yes. Something kind of big happened in that year, and then, like, a couple of corporations started to receive a lot of funding for, maybe not similar reasons, but, like, it was a similar situation under a different reason, as well, say. At least it seems to me like. This is...
audit conducted on Chemonics revealed that the company had a tendency to not finish jobs, evaluated its own project on arbitrary
Oh my god!
criteria, not having to do anything with the project, and failed to set timelines, causing some projects to fall behind schedule. In one case, Chemonics was contracted to build Haiti's new parliament building, but what they constructed came out half-finished and unusable. The company only built the framework of the building, not even erecting interior walls to divide office spaces, nor did they bother to furnish the building.
So not only were they receiving all this money, they were literally... If any investigation or a QC was being performed, they were performing it themselves. So this is just one step away from... How did that meme go? I mean, I know this in this specific case it has to do... This is like a QC thing, like a quality control thing, and not like an investigation thing. But this does kind of remind me a little bit of the situation where it's like, we investigated ourselves and we found no wrongdoing with what we did. Smile. It sounds... I know it's not the exact same situation, but it's very similar. I'm trying to, I'm drawing up some parallels here and there, but it's wow. It's
Left with this, the Haitian
unreal.
government was forced to draw $75,000 from its public treasury to complete the project. Despite these disastrous results, Chemonics to this day remains USAID's top contractor. The construction company was awarded $506.4 million in contracts in 2021 alone. In a leaked email exposed by WikiLeaks, they described this tragedy as a gold rush, ensuring that it would be great for international companies. Seems like the only thing they are culturally helping is their own wallets, am I right? And you know how you always hear about how poor people are in Venezuela and how the politicians are so rich and live in luxury?
And evil, by the way. I'd like to talk about how evil they are.
A part of that has to do with USAID. Billions of dollars of aid we sent to Venezuela just lined the pockets of US-backed politicians there. Only 2% of the aid we sent to Venezuela actually went to help Venezuelans. So at this point, the whole world was basically sick of USAID's bullshit. In 2013, Bolivian President Evo Morales expelled USAID officials from his country on the grounds that the agency had conspired against his government by allegedly manipulating social movements in the country. He also charged that a previous USAID program that sought to help cocoa farms switch to new crops was politically motivated. Russia expelled the agency in 2012 for similar reasons. Its foreign ministry argued in a statement that USAID attempts to influence political processes through its grants. And in February, Kenyan Cabinet Secretary Francis Kimimya claimed that his government had evidence that USAID had hired activists to organize anti-government protests in Nairobi in an effort to topple the government. Oh, and if you're
Do as I say, not as I do. I get to topple governments, but you don't. Deal with it, motherfucker.
wondering why so many news outlets and journalists were freaking out over the potential shutting down of USAID, yeah, it's probably because it's where their paychecks were coming from. Yeah, apparently USAID was funding about 6,200 journalists and 707 news outlets all across the world.
I called it. How many minutes ago into the video? 20, almost 20 minutes ago into the video. Unreal.
Not even just America. For example, the editor-in-chief of a Ukrainian news outlet wrote that destroying USAID was a greater threat to Ukrainian journalism than the Russian invasion. What? There were independent outlets shutting down everywhere, including Russia after the USAID freeze. So we were apparently funding media in both Ukraine and Russia.
I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top.
Serbia, Moldova, all across Latin America, independent outlets shutting down everywhere. All because the little sister of the CIA can't pay no mo. So I have a question. Why the f were we funding media in all these other countries? Well, the CEO for the Center of Investigative Reporting, a USAID-supported Bosnian media organization, said it best. Quote, "If you are funded by the US government, there are certain topics that you would simply not go after, because the US government has its interests that are above all else." Oh, I guess that answers my question. USAID is also ridden with other scandals, such as covering up a child sex abuse ring in Kenya, kidnapping and torturing people in Uruguay, forced sterilizing 300,000 Peruvian women, and the famous one you all know,
I've heard of so many of these things throughout history. And now I just have to like ask myself, if I go, there's a couple of like situations in history that I'm thinking about, particularly in the pharmaceutical industry, where they would go to other countries and test like a lot of medicine on people who are less fortunate than them, than the US, and then like, and you know, there's a lot of things that I'm just asking myself, like, how many of those like fucked up medical tests and whatever that the US made were a part of this? Because some of these tests that I'm talking about would fall under this 60-ish year period that I'm talking about. I'll do some research into this later on because I just need to know at this point. I just want to know the connections.
funding drug production in Afghanistan. Oopsie poopsies, we did little fucky wuckies. Now think about all the other shit that hasn't been exposed. These aren't mistakes, these aren't flukes, these aren't little fucky wuckies. This is what this program was set out to do. This is why it
didn't do any fucko boingos.
was created. We were quite literally funding Globo Homo as a sneaky way to do regime change and American intervention. Or do you think we're spending $1 million in Nepal to promote atheism because Hinduism is such a threat? You're cute. The United States won't sleep until there's an ugly progress flag hanging on a Starbucks on every corner of every street all over the world from Latin America to the Middle East. Ah yes, the greatest American exports, butt, sex, and war. There are a shit ton of old left-wing articles you can find online spanning back to like 2010, even earlier, about how evil USAID is. Now suddenly liberals are acting like it's another fucking beacon of democracy that we have to cry and piss and shit about just because it's Trump getting rid of it. Frankly,
Yeah, that's kind of, oh my god. We were talking about this when I was playing Final Fantasy earlier. People who will hold to a different standard something just because the person who I don't like in politics is doing it. I found it retarded when people would hold Biden and Obama to a different standard just because they don't like those persons in power. I also don't like it when they're doing it when it's Trump in power. It's the same fucking bullshit. Pre-watch Counter 3? Time is a flat circle, Murdy? Oh, man. Time truly is a flat circle. The more time goes on, the more I'm like, fuck. That resonates more and more. Unreal.
I don't care if they start dismantling things that I do care about,
It's
things that
bullshit
do
no
act-
matter who does it. Exactly. And by the way, that was the point that I did when I was playing Final Fantasy. I don't care who does it. If morally I think that something is wrong, I'll call you out, whether you're a right wing or a left wing person, black or white, man or woman. Maybe a little bit more if you're a woman. Aha, misogyny joke.
actually help the American people, then I will care. Expose where the trillions of dollars we spent on the Iraq war went next, please. Or, you know, actually release the Epstein files.
They're never gonna do it.
Do I think Doge cut USAID because they're our great comrade in arms, cutting off the tentacles of American imperialism? No. Trump probably just cut it because he thought it was a woke, gay waste of money, and it was. But as far as I'm concerned, every article written about how bad dismantling it was written by John Bolton himself. Like the president of Colombia said, "Take your money with you. It's poison." All the sources I used in this video and all the information I got for this video will be in links down below. Feel
God
free
bless.
to do your own research as always. And if you like this video,
you.
please consider subscribing. A lot of you aren't subscribed apparently. You just watch and fuck off.
Hey, I'm subscribed on my main channel.
I will find you. Also, this video is most likely—
Hey, Shoe, that's my thing. Hey, Shoe, you don't get to do that, Shoe. That's my bit. I'm the one who threatens people with finding them and hurting them if they don't subscribe, okay?
likely going to be demonetized, so if you can and if you want to, please donate to me on Patreon,
Please
link down below.
True,
It helps the
please.
channel so much, and I appreciate it. And I will see you next time with a less serious, more fun video.
Yay. Okay. This is good. This is really good. Scar's an official bloodhound for Shoe. Nuh-uh.
Fucking hate Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, same, actually. I'm nice, don't find me. No, hey, Robert, don't worry. I don't have to find you because you are already subscribed to the channel, so I'll have to find you and hurt you. It's for those who haven't subscribed, or follow me on Twitch, or like this video, or live stream right now. Those are the ones I'm gonna find that I'm gonna... I can't say kill you. I won't kill you, okay? Because if I kill you, I lose the view, so I can't do that. But I will pipe bomb your PS5. And then I'll pipe bomb maybe your PC as well. Think about it. You want to lose your PC? You know? That was a good video. Very nice.